Quick question. I
Yeah.
was once going down the Grand Canyon in wooden boats, and there was a guide he brought his guitar along, and I brought mine as well. In fact, I bought a Costco cheapie, so if it got dipped in the river, it would still survive. Anyway, we were going down, they asked me to play, and I played a couple of night things, and I'm not, at that time especially, I was not up for it, but the guide was. And here's what my question is. Every time somebody would request a song, he would roll his eyes up into his head, and he would go, no. And then he'd try to find whatever the rhythm pattern he needed for that song was. But
Yeah.
I swear his eyes would roll up, so he wasn't seeing any of us. He was thinking about what rhythm fit. And then a couple of times he got it wrong. He'd get halfway into the first verse and he'd stop and he'd look around and say, nope. He'd do it. So I wonder if you have any tips for, when you're playing in a group, how do you pick a rhythm when you can't look at your charts? You just have to somehow remember, or how does that work?
Yep. Yep. I don't think you're going to like my answer, Pete.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. This is the $1,000,000 question. This is how I make my living. Yeah, so what I suspect what's happening in the guide's brain is he's replaying the song in his head.
I bet that's it. That's probably it.
He's listening to the song, and I think there is a spectrum of skill out there, some of which we're born with, some of which we develop as we study music and listen to music. A spectrum of the ability to hear music in your head. It's kind of like, photographic memory, being able to picture stuff. I'm terrible at it. My wife is fantastic at it. And so he's replaying the song in his head. So if you have this gift, if you can hear music in your head, if you've listened to a recording a lot and you can play that recording back and it sounds similar to what you hear if you're actually playing it for real, then you have some gifts in that area. And most of us can imagine music to some extent. So anyway, that river guide is playing the music in his head, and then the way you translate that into a guitar rhythm is not by listening to the guitar part of the recording in your head. First of all, I don't know the degree to which I can do that. I'm not particularly good at this skill, and I don't know if I can pick apart instruments. I'm not hearing the music that clearly in my head. But more often, I think, and this is the case with me, I'm just listening to the overall groove of the song and then intuitively tapping into my broad repertoire of strum patterns and trying to produce the overall groove, not really consciously. I'm not thinking, okay, this might be that down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up rhythm or something like that. It's more intuitive than that. And it's something you develop by learning a lot of strum patterns, a lot of rhythms. Once you have this bank of rhythms inside of you, they will come to you naturally when you hear a song and try to reproduce it.
Well, related to something that John said about, how he reverts to another rhythm, I do that too. And guess what? I've been practicing your bass down, down, up enough that all of a sudden it jumped in front of one of my folk strums in another song. And I realized I had changed that. I stopped in the middle. What in the heck is this? So maybe is that a little piece of what you're talking about? If you get enough strums, your brain will somehow work out how to make a strum work in a song. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough of this. You just brought that back when I saw you start out. Uh-huh. You didn't roll your eyes or any of that stuff, but you did something to get the strum right. So so maybe you picked the strum from your library and told the muscles to do it. I don't know. But anyway, thank you.
Sure thing. I love that eye roll. My buddy Mark, who played drums for our faculty band, when we do my student concerts, he's the drum teacher who would accompany our students, and we often leaned on him to provide the tempo of a song, especially a song we weren't that familiar with. Sometimes we were just learning songs, for a few weeks leading up to the concert. We'd only played through the song maybe 2 or 3 times. So we'd get up there on stage and we'd be like, Mark, what's the tempo? And Mark would sit there at his drums and he'd go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing. His eyes go up and he's hearing the song in his head. Hey, I hope you liked this lesson. If you did, please click the like button. You can also subscribe to my channel. And if you really want the good stuff, become a member of Heartwood Guitar. You can click the link below to learn more. Hope to see you there. Take care.